Okay, it's one after here in sunny Arizona. I'm ready if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Kelly's ready. Let's rock and roll. All right, so much fun. Thank you, everybody who's here. This is exciting. This has been a lot of planning, and I'm fired up. This is a great session on selling more than hats using what you can see behind both of us, the 360 IQ hat press from Hotronix. It's pretty much the amazing tool. Thank you, Kelly, showing us how wonderful that looks. It is amazing. It's definitely, in my humble estimation, and I've used lots of other hat presses out there, the absolute best hat press, heat press, however you want to say that, on the market. So while it's of course geared for headwear, it's perfect for that. It does an amazing job for that, decorating hats. Oh, by the way, headwear. Hello. So hold on. What am I doing? There we go.
There we go.
Who knew? Okay. So now that I have this on, my trusty headwear, did you know that it can decorate more than hats? Kelly knew. I knew. But did you, the viewer, know? So I'm so glad, Kelly Walters, that you're joining us because at best, I'm a hack when it comes to this, and I need your professional backup. You are the content strategy manager. You are a fashionista, and I've seen it with my own eyes because we've hung out recently. And you're a decorating diva at STAHLS. You're kind of like you're the Swiss Army knife of amazingness at STAHLS and at Hotronix. So Kelly Walters, thank you for joining me today.
That might have been one of the sweetest things ever. So thank you so much. Like,
Well, I
can I
speak
just
the
get that in
truth.
recording? And whenever it's that,
Sure.
I'm like, I need that J. Where's my
You got
J?
it. You got it. I am there for you. I will back you up anytime. I'll be your hype gal or hype guy, whatever.
I love it.
So, you have done such an amazing job. Stalls has done an amazing job from the top down. Everybody that I know over there in terms of education, and we're also very big on that at Equipment Zone. And so this is a topic near and dear to my heart because we have the right tool for the right job, no doubt about it. But I really wanted people to understand that it was much more than just headwear. And so that's really what we're going to focus on. But we do have to talk about headwear, hats. It's easier than ever for two reasons. The right tool, the actual hat press, is amazing. It heats from the bottom platen as well as from the top. And it's kind of got a silicone type base. I don't know if that's the proper name or terminology, but I like to just roll with it. How I say it. How I say it is, you can correct me anytime. I will not be offended.
You're doing great.
I will consider it being schooled. Kelly is here to keep me guardrails. Okay, keep me focused, keep me in the right lane. At any time, jump in and fix up the mess. But the Hotronix 360 IQ is an amazing press. It really is. I've said that like 10 times. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, really? Because until then, I don't think there had been any changes in hat presses since the very first day I used one, which was a horrible day. I think I still have the burn scar from that day, and
Oh no.
it was at least 30 years ago. So I'm not exaggerating when I say I think there's been almost until this press no real progress, no real changes, no real advancement in the tool itself. Now, however, amazing. So tell me, is there anything I left off the table when it comes to the 360 IQ hat press? Is there anything you should add to that?
Not really. So you covered the upper and lower heat, which the lower heat is really the icing on the cake for this press. But a lot of people, when they purchased the 360 IQ hat press, they didn't really consider it for products outside of headwear. So that's another big thing that I always talk on, that don't just limit yourself to a product with an arch, right? Because
Right.
that's kind of what the hat is. But there is what's called the brain. That's the IQ system in the fusion IQ, air fusion IQ, dual air fusion IQ, and then 360 IQ also has the same brain. So for those of you that like to watch your productivity, see how long it takes you to apply something, really kind of even see if it warrants getting a second one, because if you're using patches and emblems, there's going to be a 30-second application time and process on that. So you can really just see where your productivity is, if you're being efficient. But the cool thing is that there are customized settings in this. So if you are somebody that is all about creating a special recipe, or you have those customers that like to do certain products on certain hats, you can plug that into this system and then not have to worry about putting it in a notebook, on a computer, anywhere. You can click the setting and it's going to automatically pop up and start adjusting the time, temperature, and then you do have to adjust the pressure. So For somebody that, like myself, I use all products possible. There's always a time and place for direct to film, screen printed transfers, patches and emblems, twill, right? Like we could go on and
Yep.
on. Sometimes it's nice to be able to have those settings in one location if you are what I call a squirrel chaser, and you will write something down and forget where you put it. So it's just great. There's a lot of other details about it in terms of functionality, but one thing that I absolutely love, and I've got a pretty low pressure not having any product in there, but I don't think you touched on this, Jay.
I did not.
This is going to automatically open.
Oh, hello. Love
So,
that.
in
So
terms
would you
of,
call that a semi-automatic press then? So that automatically hits that 0 mark and pops open?
yes. So when it goes, we got 5 seconds left. Like I said, it's on a low pressure, so it may need a little boot, but
Oh, it started to. Just,
there wasn't
yeah.
enough pressure to really kind
Got
of
it.
release that. But that's another reason why I love it, is if you are
Yes.
doing multiple things, that auto open feature is huge.
Agreed.
And not having to hear like the constant beep. So
Yeah, no, agreed. 100% with that. So the thank you for that. The brain, I'll remember that. I like that. I need a backup brain quite often. So yeah, people ask us all the time, like, well, what's the setting and how do I know the difference? And we won't get into that right this moment, but I love what you said, that you could store that data in. Is there a limit there, Kelly? Like if I had headwear as one core thing, and then maybe I had a beanie, and then maybe I had a different kind of treatment, like how many things could I store in that brain?
so there's multiple pages that you can have.
Okay.
Let's see, at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 different rows. That's at least 18, 2 pages. So 36, you know, I mean,
Wow.
you can max it out.
Okay.
You could max it out. But the cool thing is you can label it whatever you want. So if you know you have a customer that maybe does an emblem on the front and then direct to film on the side, you could set those settings to know that you need to adjust that time, or even, you know, the settings in general on it. Or you could turn around and just label it whatever the product is.
Okay.
So I just like that you have that customization, whether you know, it's whatever you want to call it, 2-step, 3-step,
Makes
equipment
sense.
zone, hat.
Wow. Yes, no, that totally makes sense. And I think it also would be helpful if you're doing this in an environment for production where there's more than one person using the hat. So those naming conventions are important. We're not going to really go into those with details, super fine weeds out there, but just the fact that it's possible, so that if Kelly came in the second shift or later in the day, she could find that magic setting for, you know, Bob's towing or a special treatment. I think that's brilliant. So good. How did you guys become so smart so fast?
Trial and error, people.
Trial and error. A lot of burns on the knuckles. Yeah, same.
It's that one person that's like, hey, I really need this kind of product. Okay, so to the drawing board we go.
No, it's true. You guys do such a great job listening to your customer base, and we try to emulate a little bit about what you're doing. And then rather than us be the experts, which we're not in this case, we're the co-facilitating experts, and we reach back to you and say, teach us, train us, help us. And so first of all, I have to pause and say thank you. This means a lot to me. Can you see that? Does that ring any bells? Does that make any memories? Because
I did that one.
this was a very memorable hat. You made this for me. It was amazing. It was at our Promo Kitchen event in Las Vegas. It's been about 2 weeks. I'm yearning to go back already. It was a lot of work, but what we did is we set up a live print activation with the amazing help of Jenna Sackett, who's your coworker. And she and I had this idea like 4 or 5 months ago. After I saw some of her work, I was like, we have to do something. It won't be that big, but we have to do something at the Promo Kitchen Mixer. And then you came in, you were there, and a lot of the STAHLS folks were there, the VIPs. And it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And I kept thinking, this is the perfect press for a live activation because it's easy. It's smaller, has a smaller footprint. It's lighter. It's easy to move. One person can easily move it. Electrical requirements, no big deal, standard. What was your take on that event? I'd love to. We haven't really processed this very much. You know, it's like go, 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 and then you're off to the next event, and then it's Long Beach, and then you're home, and then it's like, oh my God. What was your take? What was your spin? What was your feel?
I mean, okay, I'm going to give you 2 different perspectives. From the customer standpoint, they had so much fun.
Yes.
You know, I think there were a lot of options to choose from, which I like, but analysis paralysis. And I think
Sure.
people walked up and they were like, I don't even
Yes.
know what to
Right.
do or create,
What?
because
Too many. Yes.
like
Good
the
point.
hat you showed, right? We layered patches, we used twill, we used PVC, we used chenille. There's really just so many options that you can do. And then some people were like, I just want to be simple. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. Like we just wanted people to feel like they had the ability to make a hat. And I got to see it start very slowly to where one person wore the hat. And by the end of the night,
Oh, yeah.
all I could just see was like a sea of black, white, and red of people wearing these custom created hats that they designed. I
Yes.
definitely had
Yes.
my hands in kind of giving some recommendations, but the way they were so excited was cool. And that's one thing I absolutely love about in-person events is just
Hmm.
seeing the light. From my end, it was incredibly awesome to just be in the middle of it. But you know what's so funny is we talk about the importance of maybe getting a second unit to have them run simultaneously. That way you don't have any downtime.
Right.
And immediately I was like, I need another unit. And that
We
was
are,
just so
and for those listening, we had two, so a third. You were saying we should have had a third. Well, that's true because for those who don't know, Promo Kitchen is a mentorship and education nonprofit group that I'm a member of, and I'm, really passionate about it. I'm on the board, and so every year we have this really important mixer. It's like a party, but it's, we try to make it not just, hey, come have free drinks on us. And so you guys played such an important role, and it was training, but it was fun. And I think it was such a great welcome to our event personally. Your team was phenomenal.
oh, thank you.
Outdoor cap was phenomenal. And the
Yes.
best part for me, and you brought this all up, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want people to see this, and hopefully they can see that as it's trying to zoom in on these little pieces were like magic. They were like gems. They were
Yeah.
like the extra attention to detail that your team created for us. I can't speak highly enough of why it worked, how it worked, your team actually doing the work. I was also up there, heat pressing t-shirts. So
Mhm.
it was just so much fun. And it reminded me of an experience. It reminded me that that's what we're trying to teach. So yes, we need to know speeds and feeds and yields and time and temperatures and pressures and all of the things, the brain, heating elements, top, lower, all of those things are so important. But let's not lose sight of the fact that when you can have an engaging, interactive event using the 360 IQ hat press, you are going to make an impact. You're going to make a mark. You're going to leave an impression, pun intended. You're going to leave that event with customers or with prospects that can't wait to do business with you. And they're going to say, I should do this at my event. We had,
Yep.
these were people that are in our industry, and we had at least, I'm not exaggerating, 50 say, oh my God, we can't wait to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So telling you what, that was part of the reason I wanted to have this session was to again say thank you to you, but also to show people that, Equipment Zone and Stalls, we walked the walk. We did what we say we did what we say and what we encourage people to do.
Mhm.
And I think it made a giant difference for me personally. So when I look at this little guy in the back and I'm like, you know what? I barely know my way around it. I'm in love with it, but can't wait to learn more about it. And I know our audience is eager to do that too. So let's move on. Sorry for the long thank you, but that's just my nature. So deal with it. It all adds up, right? This is the point. Bottom line, it all adds up. More profit in your pocket when you can offer other things besides headwear, or drop a hat. DTF printing, first of all, it's never been easier. It's never been easier to order transfers. It's never been easier to get those transfers from your team. It's never been easier to print them yourself from our team. So if you are thinking about a printer, obviously talk to Equipment Zone. If you're continuing to outsource and you need transfers, talk to Transfer Express, talk to Stalls, talk to Kelly. She'll guide you through that process. But now that we have these things, we have this amazing technology, right? And we have these transfers, we can put them on so much more. And so I'm over here experimenting and having fun, but I'd love for you to kind of walk us through some of the what's possible besides hats. That's why people tuned in today. Other accessories, other things we should know about. Um, what do you think, Kelly? You up for it? Are you ready?
Yeah,
Yeah,
always. That's
always.
easy.
Well, walk
The
us through that. Other items
see
besides hats. That's what people want to know.
the really cool thing is it's so simple. And I know that sounds kind of like cliche to say, but the majority of patches and emblems apply at the same time and temperature. So it doesn't matter if you are bringing in a hat. It doesn't matter if you're bringing in a bag, a polo, a sweater fleece jacket, um, sweatshirt, shorts, right? Like I could go on and on. It does
Mhm.
not matter. That time, temperature, pressure is all going to remain the same. So if we jump from embroidered patches to PVC, chenille, twill, like your hat, that's PVC and chenille that were applied the
Yep.
exact same way. So when I say it's super, super simple, it gives you the ability to have one piece of equipment and interchange those products, really diversify and create versatility in your business without having to purchase a variety of other pieces of equipment. I
Perfect.
can do so much on this. So we're gonna do a hat just so I can show you how it truly works because it's all
Perfect.
going to work the same. And then we can do a polo, we can do a bag. I'll see if I've got even like a tote bag, but I've always got a whole bunch of things that we can decorate on here. At any time, I will say if you guys have any questions or if you can't see something, please, please, please pop it in the chat. I'm going to move my computer to kind of position it more over the
Perfect.
60. But if something looks wonky, I just need that communication from you guys so we can make sure that you're getting the best view possible.
Perfect. Fire away, Kelly. It's
Okay.
your show. We're
Is my
just all, yes, we're just
This is
less.
your show. Okay.
Come
So
on.
we're going on a
Uh,
trip here.
We're going on a tour. I think everybody watching is going to pretty much know this is your show. So
It is not. You silly guy. You silly, silly guy. Okay. So can everybody see this pretty
yeah,
well? So we've got our
looks
heating
good.
element, the brain, what I call, you guys can see all of that, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the first one we are going to do is going to be a hat. Just to show you how it's done, right? Nice and easy. What we're going to do is flip the sweatband up like that. And then I'm going to come in from the side and just kind of scoop it. So what
Love
we want to
that.
do is just keep in mind that this is really hot. This is rocking at 320 degrees right now. I know I'm touching it. It does have that silicone cover protecting that heating element. But this is what gives you the ability to really interchange different types of hats, 5, 6, 7 panel. And then this is going to be 280 degrees. I am not touching that one. So as we come in and scoop, that allows us to not really touch any heating element, and we can get our garment or hat on there just as easy as possible. The next thing I want to do is make sure my bill and the pad is flush, straight, nice, clean surface area right here. And then I'm going to flip up this lever and it's going to latch the hat. Now, I want to show you this next part because this is important. Okay, you can kind of see there's a little bit of a bubble right here in the hat. So it's really important to make sure that that heat warms up those fibers to where this hat can relax. And I'm pushing down to really smooth out our surface area. If we don't do that, then we're going to create that gap. That seam down the middle is going to bunch up and bubble. And the whole point is to make sure we have a nice, beautiful, premium product for our customers. Now, the emblem we're going to use first is a holographic. So this is one of our newer ones. And yes, the image does change within that design. Cool thing, right? 30 seconds.
Yep.
I don't need to worry about adjusting this whenever we go to use an embroidered patch next. It's all set, ready to go. So I am going to just hold it down wherever I want. You can use thermotape if you want to tape it and be able to move a little bit faster, or you can just hold it in place for just a couple of seconds And that lower heat is going to warm up that adhesive and just help keep that in place. Now, one thing to keep in mind, ooh, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
One thing to keep in mind is the 360 comes with 3 different type of foam pads. So the biggest question I get at shows is, what else do I need? What other accessories do I need to make this work? And this is what I call a plug and play type of machine. It comes with everything you need. You don't need to buy additional accessories unless you need thermo tape or a different type of cover sheets. So we're using our 1/8 pad. This is going to go over that to protect the emblem. And then we're just going to bring down our heating element. Now, once the time is done, it will automatically pop open. The more we use that white pad, guys, it's going to get warmer and warmer and warmer and eventually be scorching. So as a caution and a safety, I just always say, keep in mind, you just don't want to go in and grab it. There's also a chance it could just open and fling somewhere. So
So it's kind of like a little party favor, right? Just pop open and
I know,
surprise.
you never know where it's going to go, right?
See?
And then from here, we can go ahead and remove our carrier, latch down, and then our hat's complete. So we had that seam. You guys got to see that there was a slight bubble at the beginning. We worked through those fibers, and we did not change the shape of the hat whatsoever.
Yeah, no crease, no, it looks beautiful.
She's a beaut. She is a beaut. So now that same patch, we could easily turn around. I'm gonna do this. This is so fun. That same patch we could easily turn around and put on a backpack. We could put it on a left chest. We could put it on a beanie, right? So there's a variety of different locations. It's really just, or items. It's really just about what you can get on this press.
Correct.
Okay. So the next one I'm going to grab is going to be a backpack.
Woo, I was hoping you would say that. And it's as if we planned this, Kelly. The thing is, I got to give someone another quick shout out while Kelly's getting that. The idea that we had with this multiple layered hat that I'm showing again was because we've seen this come and go in the popularity of patches and pins on Levi jackets specifically. You don't have to be a punk rocker or a rock and roller. You could be, 15, 16, and it comes and goes in terms of popularity. But I've seen it on Levi jackets or trucker jackets of every kind and color. And I've also seen the pins and the patches kind of take over backpacks, the popularity of multiple different styles, multiple different kinds of pins and patches and all kinds of embellishments. So I'm thrilled that you're going to show this on a backpack. And I know the audience is excited too. So don't forget, kids, hatwear, headwear, you can do it there. That's what we were trying to do at Promo Kitchen, but backpacks, man, all the rage, right? Am I kidding? No, I'm not kidding.
Am I kidding? Okay, so this one, we're going to do a little bit of prep prior to putting it on to the 360. So I am sometimes a wing it kind of gal, but I want to show you how to not wing it and make sure you are consistent. Okay, so this is our backpack. Now we are going to do our emblem right here. Guys, I have pressed on OGO or Oakley backpacks that have tons of pockets. I've done, the side. As long as we can get inside of this bag and open it and get it to lay wherever we need it to, right, we could decorate right here on the side of this backpack. So we're going to keep it simple for today and just do the center. So as I open it, now normally what I like to do, let's reposition this again. I need a cameraman here, is I'll put it here and I'll wing it. I'll put it on there. This looks center. I'm pretty good at aligning with the zipper. But for somebody that might have somebody else doing the production, or you're like, I need to make sure that this is 100% on.
Yeah, and they're all in the same location, right? You got to make sure they. Yep.
So from here, I am going to cheat. It's not really cheating, but I'm going to take some thermo tape.
This is not cheating. This is what we call tips of the trade. This is the juice that people can't wait to watch, Kelly. This is why everyone's tuned in. Tell me what you're doing.
So we put thermo tape across our flag. So this is embroidered. It's an embroidered patch. There is the permanent adhesive on the back. You do not need to sew this down. And then what I'm going to do is just place it wherever I want on my backpack. That way, when I go and I'm like, okay, we're going to be 4 fingers down from the zipper every single time, you know it's going to be there versus taking the chance that it's going to be messed up. Now, I place that slightly crooked, so let's fix this before we put it over some heat. And then I'm going to open my flap, put it on there. Now, the one thing you need to remember is that you're going to have this kind of bunched up area right here. Okay. So as the heating element comes down, just make sure you don't have any creases. You know, we just want as smooth as possible. And I'm glad you guys can't fully see me because I am on my tippy toes looking at this.
Well, okay, you shouldn't have said that. Now we know.
I am just going to make sure everything else is out of the way. Now, again, we need that 1/8 inch foam pad. So I'm going to take that, place it over my embroidery, and then just bring it down. Now, there have been times where I've kind of had to hold an accessory here until I can get it locked in place. And then I can walk away and finish production, taping other, you know, logos to other items.
Right.
When it pops open, I don't care if the bag falls. I don't care if the item falls because the logo is already going to be attached and adhered on to, you know, whatever the garment is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I could easily see an opportunity where you might pre-stage this and get all of those pre-taped, and you might have a dozen of those bags ready to roll. But that hat press makes it a lot easier to get it on. How would you do that on the corner of a? I've tried backpacks. Backpacks are a pain on a flat press. Yep. So this is way better.
Yeah. Now, obviously, right? If we had a smaller platen, we could make it work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially
You're right.
If you
you're
had
right.
A power platen. But the thing that I love about the 360 is that this just does so much more. Right? Even if you are with a basic press and you're looking to elevate your game, you really want to offer premium products, you can go with something so small that takes up little space. And then now you have the ability to take, you know, whatever your original quantity is. Say you're working with a customer that needs 12 pieces of something and you're really trying to get, you know, to a minimum of 25. If you add another item, that's just the best way to start maximizing and, you know, helping expand your quantities. Now, I do see a question. So Diana said that's a lot if it's a big order. So if you mean that's a lot in terms of prep before you get on to the press, I will actually say I beg to differ. So the reason,
careful, Kelly, careful. No, I'm excited for this. I thought, yeah, this could be a lot. First of all, let's all give credit where credit is due. Kelly's also in teacher mode right now, and anytime you're in teacher trainer mode, you know, you slow down. You're doing a great job explaining everything. But thank you. It is a lot.
Whenever we take a backpack, right, or we're going to do a quarter zip here in a minute. Same thing, or excuse me, not a quarter zip, a vest or a quarter zip. Even if these were the same logos, different logos, maybe it's one job, you're truly doing print on demand and it's a custom order for a corporate company. Whenever you have your thermo tape in whatever production area you are in, right? So I know that I want that to be there. I'm going to come around, tape it. Maybe you put 2 pieces on there. At the end of the day, maybe that's 20 seconds. So remember, you've got one that's already going that's going to take 30. So now you've prepped your other piece in that same time. Now, if you are wanting to have 2 units and you've got somebody in prep, you've got somebody in heat, or maybe you're just the type that you want to prep, and then go. You just got to remember that it's really only taking, I lost my transfer. Hold on. It's really only taking just a little bit to really put your product on there and tape it and set it aside. Now, this
While
is
the other,
something.
would you
Yep.
normally be, you would normally be pressing something too, wouldn't you? Or you're making the point you could do all of the vests in one run and then start pressing. It's kind of a personal,
Preference. Yeah.
preference.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's the biggest thing is, the cool thing about our industry is there's so much that can be done that one person does it one way that you don't have to do it that way. You can do it a different way. So whether you want to prep, have your items and then go, you can, or you have the ability because you got that 30 seconds to get one done while the other one is cooking. So
Got it.
Diana, yes, I know sometimes it's like when there's multiple steps, it seems like it could take more time. But at the end of the day, in terms of actual time, you're really only looking at about a minute per item. So in 30 minutes, you could do 30 items and imagine what your profit could be, especially if you're at $10, $12, markup. Okay. So,
Yes. So
we're going on.
Yeah, we're going on. Are we going on?
Okay, good. She said, sounds good, put that way. Great. I love, I'm so big on opinions and understanding, how to create solutions for people. So if there's, something we need to talk through, then let's talk through it. Let's get it figured out. That way you feel more comfortable with it.
Love it.
Okay, so the next one, we're going to do this Travis Matthew vest. And this is faux leather. Okay, so we have genuine and we have faux. Leather has been huge, period.
Yes.
Leather has been extremely, extremely popular. One thing to consider is if it's genuine leather, it's really not best if you wash it, right? So you can put it on hats, you could put it on maybe jackets that you are never going to wash. But with faux, this is something that can actually be washed. So our vest, yes, it's kind of like this icy gray. It's going to get dirty. We already know it. We need to be able to wash it. So I've just used a single tape right here where I want it. I am going to open my jacket up. And then I am just going to place it over our 360. Now, the thing is, this might be a little tall, so I might have some edges lift. And if that's the case, then I'm just going to move it and pre-press again. So one thing to keep in mind is when you are doing upper and lower heat, the max height you can do is 2 1/4, which is typically the max height that you would want to do for a hat. But anytime you want to use a larger transfer, just know you're going to need larger surface area on the bottom in order to truly get that lower heat. So that dang pad that I told you just keeps flying away. Here it is. Same thing, pad goes over it. And then we're just gonna let that cook for 30 seconds. Haven't changed anything on it.
Yeah, same time, same temp. You didn't change anything.
Not a lick. I didn't change anything. Now, if this was a super, super thick, say, Independent Legends fleece, we might have to adjust our pressure a little bit because we are rocking at a 7, which is technically high, and we need to be more at a medium. But that one little notch into that high is going to be just fine. And then let's see. You're not supposed to do what I'm doing, which is picking, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't have any lift whatsoever. And then now we have a vest that has that faux leather look on it.
It looks awesome. And that was through the fleece on the inside, through all of that, and it has no crease at all.
Yep. So when you have something thicker like this, even if you notice, you know what, I really need to go for 45 seconds, you can increase that dwell time another 15 seconds. You can also do a pre-press on the item as well. When you're consistent, like I said, this thing starts to really soak in that heat. So putting it on there is automatically going to start warming up that product before you even lower the heating element.
Good point. Good point. Thank you for that reminder. Hey, Kelly, can I ask you a quick side question? Since you keep bringing up the pad, how do we know which pad to use? You guys have the 1/8, the 1/4, and the 3/8, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I know that's what came with our press, and we got this super duper cool card. But is there anything we should learn about these pads besides
So
the fact that they
the
get really hot? I can tell you that. That's true.
they get hot. They are excellent with helping to reduce scorching. So that's another little,
Okay.
accessory that you could use on other items as well. Just make sure you increase your dwell time because of how thick that pad is. But it's all based on the size of the emblem. So when we do 3D embroidery, that's when we want to go to the quarter. The 3/8, we don't really have anything thick enough for that yet. So it's there. It's an
It's
extra
like if you had something really thick. So what about these PVC? Like when we did that ace, this little cool little ace,
Yep.
the ace, and nobody noticed, but a few of us, that the ace of spades is black. But I was still really cool with that. I thought it was done in good taste, and I like to look it better anyway. So it's a special deck. Kelly and I come from a special deck of cards, if you haven't
That's
already
true.
figured that out. But would that be a case? Is that because it's so thick and it has these edges, or
So you can still use the 8th. So another good tail is when you are taking, I told you don't look behind the camera, and it's because everything is everywhere, and now I'm looking for my
I didn't mean to deviate you. I didn't want to have a squirrel moment, so forgive me.
No, it's all good. I deviate quite well. Okay, so this is 3D embroidery.
Okay, perfect.
And if you were to look at it in comparison with the pad, right, it's going to be just a little bit thicker.
Right.
So whatever your patch or emblem is, it's typically the thickness of the pad. So the thicker pad is going to be needed for the 3D embroidery, where everything else is pretty solid, even the chenille with the 8th.
Got it. Love it. Yeah. Thank you. Great answer. Yeah, what's next? I'm excited.
So I actually want to show you what it looks like to take. So this is a brand that we came up with called Mason Turner, and we really just decked the heck out of some merchandise branding for kind of a corporate look with, kind of an updated. There's no embroidery in this collection, even though we could do embroidered patches. I take that back. There's 3D embroidery, but not a standard embroidered patch. So this is the same company that we did in a metallic dome. So again, we did this placement on the side. It goes for the same company, so everything is branded well together. And then also turned around and did the 3D embroidery.
Nice, on a beanie.
So easy, nice. You don't have to worry about anything underneath, but yes, now everything kind of ties together.
Yeah, well done.
I did it all on this press because I did do these 2 items. Now, I want to show you something really cool.
Yay.
I did it on the press, and nobody has seen this yet.
Oh, okay. This is exclusive? This is a first?
It's a first. I know. Get excited.
I am. I know. Everybody watching.
So this is our faux suede product. And we decked out
I love it. Yes.
Of every color of faux suede that's available, and then every stitch. You know what? Let's get Manny over here. I'm just gonna make him her shim work. Okay, so I did the tape method. I laid out where I wanted because I'm extremely particular, and I wanted to make sure that the colors, those that didn't have a locking edge, everything was mixed in the way I wanted it to. But then it's just scattered all along. So yes, this isn't necessarily something you would do for a standard customer. There's, I think, over like 20 patches total on this jacket. But I just wanted to give you guys the idea that you can go over seams, okay? You don't have to worry about hooping that.
You can go over the product itself, right? You did that? Yeah.
We went over the product or pocket. Let's see if I can get in here. And then I can still actually get into the pocket because we didn't puncture the fabric. So this is a really fun one. I will show you how to do a simplified version, just kind of like we did the vest. Same thing you do with the backpack You tape it on there, and then you just make sure as you are going from step 1 to step 2 that nothing shifts out of the way.
Got it.
Now, I see a question from
Yep.
Mike.
Beanies.
Yeah, doesn't the heat take the stretch out of the beanie? Great question. And every beanie is different. No beanie is created the same, from knit, stretch, acrylic, poly cotton, recycled poly cotton. It goes on and on. So when you are, where did I toss it? It's right here. When I did this beanie, what I made sure was that the bottom was the part that was stretched. So it didn't touch anything. It didn't touch the heat. You can also do this in a flat press as well. But I have done many beanies on this unit. It's just all dependent on what type of beanie you're using. And to Mike's also point, I will show you a tester here in a minute. But when I was laying this on, right now, everything is stretched. Those fibers are stretched like it's going around the head. And I just made sure that the back was stretched and this was all nice and relaxed. And I did reduce my pressure to make sure that I wasn't putting, too much impact on those fibers. So a bad beanie, because I do like products that fail, because I think it gives us the ability to learn, right?
So show us, you burned one, you melted one. What happened? I'm curious.
I might have gotten mad that I burnt it and tossed it, but it was in the middle of my floor. Let's see. I'll have to see if I can spot it as we're kind of wrapping up, but I definitely wanted to. Oh, found it. Okay, so yes, Mike, it does. So as you can see, this is a new era. So I bought several beanies to test, because that's one of the biggest questions that we get at shows and on social media through education is, how do I do beanies? What beanies are good quality? What beanie do you recommend? And there's so many options, but this is a really, really nice chunky knit from New Era. And I did my best to make sure that I did the pull, the stretch method from the bottom, but I still got a little bit of flattening right here. Like, that's not up to par for me. I want to make sure that whenever it is standing, that, you don't see any issues. And then this was my second attempt, which is much, much better, where I loosened the pressure, but I still know that this side messed up the knit of it. So it's a little adjustments, right? The other thing is, this is a really, really heavy patch. It is part of our Velcro collection. So it might be too heavy for a, pretty not structured, but knit type of beanie.
Loose knit beanie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it definitely can. This way, I lied. I did the inside out method, like this, and made sure that I just didn't pull, that it just wasn't pulling in every direction.
Okay. So I think the takeaway here, Kelly, is experiment, test, keep the ones that you fail so that you can try again on another side or on another surface. I know personally I've had a tremendous challenge with 100% acrylic to find the right temperature and the right amount of stretch. Those tend to be like, for me, I'm probably gonna from this day forward, not avoid them, but try to find something else that's a little bit more forgiving or is more accepting to the process.
Absolutely. And that's right on, Jay. This is 100% acrylic, where the gray one we were decorating on is a brand that I love working with called Atlantis, but it's organic cotton, right? So when you're talking fibers and how they work with heat, acrylic is so finicky, and we all know that cotton in general just does better. So to give you guys an example, that was 100% acrylic, that blue one. This one's 100% cotton, and it's sustainable. So it is, or it's either, it's the organic cotton, but that's why this one had a much better, you know, success rate than the other one did.
Perfect. All right, Kelly, we're at 45 minutes in. Is there one more thing you'd like to share or show? I don't want to cut you off. I could listen and learn forever, but to respect our time, yours and mine and our guests, tell us, is there something else you want to share, something else you want to show? I've already
Well,
learned a ton.
yeah,
So
I can
keep going if you
easily
can.
show a quarter zip, but it's
Yes.
very similar to the vest. It's just up to you.
Yeah, let's show it. Let's do it. Quarter zip.
Okay.
I love it.
All right. So let's do, we're going to go ahead and decorate. Let me see if this one will fit. Yep. So we're going to do.
Oh, is that chenille?
No. This.
Oh, it's a
or not
hook,
away. Velcro.
hook and loop. Is that what we call it?
Hook and loop. Yes.
Velcro, hook and loop. Okay, interesting.
Okay, so same thing, guys. We do need to make sure that we have our logo taped. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the patch. Tape this in place. Now I have decorated on this quarter zip numerous times.
What is that, a particular brand that you like, or
it's
is
New
there...
Era.
Okay.
I really like some of the New Era garments that they've released. This one is 56 cotton, 44 poly, but the silhouette of it for women is really nice. It's still sporty and athletic, but you know, it really kind of is hitting along the styles that you're seeing in like Lululemon, Athleta, Alo. Same thing for sets that are kind of trending, you know, with other brands. Okay, so I did kind of a star effect here to make sure this really was nice and secure. Same thing, gonna open up my zipper, slide this on, and I don't have to worry about how really centered the garment is, because at the end of the day, the logo that I'm applying is locked in place where I need it to be. So nice and easy. Same application, didn't change anything in terms of, you know, time, temperature, setting. I've got this 30 seconds to go do something else that I need to do to prep moving forward, or maybe you want to respond to an email. We cut direct to film transfers, like whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got 8 seconds. Let's go back.
Beep. Semi-automatic.
Recommendation is to remove that thermo tape quickly. The colder it gets, the more secure the tape gets on there, but it doesn't mean that it's stuck. It's just easier to remove when it is warm. And so now we've got our Velcro portion. And all we have to do is add our patch. And then let's say our child or coach, whatever, needs to change belt, team, color, whatever it is that day, right?
Right.
We did one patch.
Love it.
And then you can switch it out for a different one.
That's a great application. So if somebody's a part of a martial arts or some other, anything to do with levels, anything to do with recognition, service.
Yep.
That's cool. And
because we do have, you know, still a high poly content, it would be around 360 for about 60 seconds if we didn't use that upper and lower heat. So now we're protecting, you know, the fibers of that. We're not having to worry about any scorching. But that's the cool thing, is we can kind of get a 2-in-1 or right, you know, 3, 4-in-1 if you need.
I want to share one that I did before. Can you see that?
I love it.
Yeah, so we did a special event in Tennessee, and these are DTF transfers, and this is my practice shirt, by the way, and the back And the
Juicy.
sleeves. I know this is one of your favorite places to go. You like Broadway down there and that
Heck yeah.
Nash Vegas.
Love it.
So all of those were done with the exception of the full front on the hat press because the other press was being used. And
Ah,
so, it was just a utility thing for me. Luckily, the fronts had already all been done, but then I said, oh, I'll just do all of those other locations. And we did hang tags on they were like a recycled cardboard. And it was easy. And yes, they curved temporarily, but it was no big deal. I just needed to do a few as an example. Once we went into production, I laid them all out on the flat press and did like 50 at a time. But it's just so amazing with the change of technology with the direct to film transfer process. I just got to say again, this is a game changer for a lot of people. And whether
mm-hmm.
you order the transfers or whether you're printing them yourself, remember your clients have egos. Your clients love the attention. Your clients have branding. And so it doesn't always have to be your information on that inside neck label or tag. You could offer that as a service and customize it and print it on demand and use the hat press as your go-to, especially when another press might be in full use already. So for us, that was the reason I was like, I'm just going to use the hat press, and it worked perfect. And it was
Yep.
actually easier to hoop the necks on. I mean, I know there are other platens, I know there are other systems, I know there are lots of people doing lots of other things, but I'm just kind of like, that's a real world situation that I was hooping the inside of a t-shirt and just letting the neck show through. Yep,
Yep.
just like that.
Just
That's
like this.
exactly what I did.
And the cool thing is this heating element can actually be turned off. So if you are using a material or a transfer direct to film screen print and you cannot use, or it is not recommended to use that lower heat, there is an off button to where you can just utilize upper,
Mhm.
like Jay was saying, for the neck. And then as you're putting your garment on there, you're not worried about it being hot, and you're just moving and you're being efficient because of that nice little isolation.
Yeah, perfect. That was kind of the last tip I wanted to share. Kelly, you mentioned so many great tips, so many examples that you shared. I loved it. That whether it's a sleeve or a neck label, whether it's the side of a hood on a hoodie, the quarter zip, the vest, the headwear, the beanies. I loved that Levi jacket. So I mean, don't undersell that. That is hot. That is a
Cool.
winner. And it's up to our audience to be creative to figure out an application, a school setting, a team setting, anything in those lanes that would be hot.
Yep.
The right type of activation. We could have done a special Levi jacket, like a commemorative, something like where it's like only 20 of these are going to be made.
Yeah.
And you could definitely decorate them and have the engagement of someone choosing the locations, so that they become the co-collaborator of that jacket. They'll forever remember that. And that's really at the end of the day, obviously, whether you're a small, medium, or large size business, you're trying to put more profit in your pocket, but you're also trying to create an engagement. You're trying to create and build memories so that you are thought of even when you're not in the room. And it's a long way for me to say, believe it or not, that's why I love this press, because it enables that process. And I'm always trying to remember that, even though we need the technicals, we need Kelly, we need you to tell us times and temps and how to tape things, and all those details are really important. But I'm also always looking at the bottom line, thinking, am I making a memory? Am I making a difference? Am I making something that's profitable? And so I think we've done it all here today. So you are welcome on our educations anytime, Kelly, anytime. I think we need to just plan on you once a quarter from this point forward.
I
How
like
about,
it.
is that too
I
much to
like it.
ask? Can I ask that
No,
live on the air and not have
you
that be
can.
weird?
Only for you. Only for you.
I doubt that's true, but thank you. I appreciate it. Final thoughts to you, Kelly. Is there anything you want to cover? Anything you want to say? Anything in the STAHLS Hotronix family that you want to build on or remind us about?
Not really. We've covered so much, and I really try not to information overload or information vomit. That way, when we're going over things, then people can digest really some key pieces and take that with them. But I will say, if you are one that does not like saying no, which, hi, that's me, um, you will find a way to do something. It just might take a little bit of preparation and solidification to find that process on how to get it done. So stay open to the equipment you have, stay open to the transfers you have, and do not be afraid to test. I know sometimes people could be like, testing costs money. It does, but keep that same thing and just test the heck out of it all over and all over. And Susan actually asked, what would the heat settings for DTF on the hat press be? So
Yes.
what are your settings? I think ours are just a little different.
So this is a perfect question. Thank you for asking it, Susan. So, and experimenting. So depending on the hat, this is something really important. The front of the hat and the structure of this hat is going to take on different temperatures and different settings than, say, the side, the mesh area. So we had to play with that. And so actually, Kelly, on this one, I left the bottom heating element on, but I turned it really low because I wanted there to be a little bit of a give and a pliability of that product. And so we found success between 285 and 300 if it's a blended product. Meaning it has, it's a poly cotton content. It's blended of any fibers. If it's 100% poly, we would turn it down. We would try to start experimenting as low as 275, and then play with the times. Meaning it could be as little as 8 to 10 seconds, depending. It could be as much as 15 seconds if it's got more structure, more twill, and more cotton. So in that family of range, Susan, I wish there was a perfect one-size-fits-all answers. Even as Kelly hinted, where you get the transfers can be different. So let's put it back to you, Kelly. What would your settings and times and temps be in a range, maybe?
So when it comes to our direct to film Ultra Color Max, it's 280, 280, 295. You've got some flexibility in that. 15 seconds, or it's 12 to 15, but I like going solid at that 15. But when you get into poly, you can go down to 260. So, if you're really worried about the scorching on that, then, that's something that you can kind of play with. Now, the same thing, Jay, as headwear is a little different than garments that are going in the washing machine every week, every couple of weeks. If it's something that you need to fluctuate with on temperature, I just recommend testing it multiple times to make sure you're getting something that's consistent. So if you know that 280, that 290 really needs to be at 275 to make it work with that, whatever that textile is, then adjust that. Just make sure that you're after it's cooled down and say a couple of days, even a week, that application is still nice and adhered properly onto.
We would even in some cases do wash testing to make sure, so that anything that we said, we could say, hey, we washed this 20 times. That t-shirt that I showed earlier with the Tennessee and the love symbol and then in the neck, we had that at 320 for 15 seconds. It's 100% cotton. We just pounded that in because we know that that's going to get washed 25 to 50 or more washes. So it's going to have to last. So with headwear, you do have to experiment a little bit, and you're going to have all kinds of different headwear. Like this is a cotton twill front with buckram that's got a little shape and a very floppy mesh. It's open even. I mean, it's mesh. You can see through this. And
it looks so good though.
And I know people are like, but you can do mesh and you can go over the seam. And I'm like, DTF baby right there. So
you sure can.
You absolutely can. Susan, you asked a wonderful closing question. We're kind of running out of time, but I cannot go without showing Kelly these because I do these all the time on the hat press.
Oh, love that. Yes.
So, and you can do dimensional patches.
Yes.
And so of course DTF. So
love it.
All of these are just extra ways for you to repurpose that same tool that is sitting right there, that we use all the time here. And Terry teases me because he's like, what are you doing? You're always back there just fiddling around with that heat press. And I'm like, I'm experimenting. I'm kind of having fun, but I'm also learning. It's how I learn is to process and experiment and then document it. And now I will, on Kelly's tip, add it to the brain so that I can go back and say, look,
this worked.
Time, temperature, it's all locked in right there. So,
oh my gosh, I love it.
On the smashing of the koozies, lower down the temp, lower down your pressure until it works, and you'll find that sweet spot. And I got to say, neoprene is different from foam. So again, there's lots of different kinds of these little guys. So there's no one answer. I wish I could give you that. This is part of the process. This is part of the fun. But Kelly, I think we've taken all of the time we can. It's at the top of the hour again. I so appreciate your insights and your knowledge. STAHLS is lucky to have you. Hotronix is lucky to have you. We're lucky to have you. So please come back often. And I'm just going to say goodbye for now. Is there any place you want to send people if they want to connect with you?
You can connect with me in a couple of different places. Our YouTube channel, which is STAHLS TV. I'm always in there checking questions as well. I'm Heat Print with Kelly on Instagram. And then, of course, you can reach out to our STAHLS Heat Printing or Transfer Express and just say, hey, I want to get in touch with Kelly, or I have questions. And then our team always does a great job of getting everybody connected with the right person. I don't know. I feel like I'm everywhere, Jay. So just say my name and I will appear.
Kelly, Kelly, say it 3 times. Kelly, Kelly, Kelly. We're grateful for your time. We are the same way. You can find us at technical support for questions about this press. If there's something we don't know, guess who's going to back us up? Kelly, Kelly, Kelly. That's who's going to back us up. So you can fill out a tech support ticket online. We almost always call back in the same day. If you call us very late in the day Eastern time, it might roll over to the next day, but we're really good, and we're not perfect, but we're really good at following up as fast as we can. So fill out those tech support tickets online. Also, as Kelly mentioned, they have a wonderful YouTube channel. So do we. Please check us out. This training will be sent there, and I'll put some of these the information for how to get a hold of Kelly in the notes so that you can see that as well. And then contact information if you want to talk to a sales rep. Who wouldn't after this amazing training? You can reach out to either Amy or to Terry. And so they are happy to help you because we are proudly a distributor of the STAHLS Hotronix presses, and we love that cap press. So if you're looking to add a second or third one, think of us. If you want to get a big, giant, amazing EZ-JET Pro DTF printer, think of us. If you're not ready for that yet, think of Kelly. You know, outsourcing is a great way, and experimenting there is really important. So Kelly, that's all I have to say. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to say goodbye one more time. And to everybody that tuned in or who watches later, be kind and have fun. That's all I have to say.
I say happy decorating. So happy decorating.
Happy decorating indeed.
Happy
Bye-bye,
decorating.
everybody.
Bye, guys.